She never expected a simple act of kindness to change the course of her life forever. That rainy Thursday morning, Anna Parker woke up to a phone call that would push her world into motion. Her younger sister, Claire, who worked as a part-time maid at one of the most luxurious estates in San Francisco, had fallen ill overnight. With no one else to cover her shift, Anna reluctantly agreed to step in. She didn't know that stepping into her sister's worn shoes would lead her into a world she had never imagined, and bring her face to face with a man whose life was quietly crumbling. Before I continue, if you believe in kindness, second chances, and the power of helping others, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. Let's spread a little hope together. Anna arrived at the mansion drenched from the rain, her simple outfit soaked, hair plastered to her face. The gates were massive, wrought iron, a symbol of wealth she had only ever seen from afar. She had cleaned houses before, but nothing on this scale. The halls were endless, floors gleaming, and the silence inside was heavy, almost suffocating. Her hands trembled slightly as she began dusting and organizing rooms that were far more beautiful than anything she had grown up with. Every polished surface, every expensive rug reminded her of the gap between her life and the world she had temporarily entered. Hours into the shift, she found herself in the master bedroom when she heard a faint sound, a whimper that seemed almost human, but it was soft, almost lost. Following it, she discovered a small boy curled up on the floor in pajamas far too big for him, clutching a stuffed bear. His eyes were red from crying, and Anna's heart immediately ached. She approached cautiously, unsure how to comfort a child she didn't know, but when he looked up and whispered, "Mommy," she felt a weight settle in her chest. The boy's name was Jacob. His mother had died in a car accident 2 years prior, and since then his father, Michael, had been doing his best to balance being a CEO and a single parent. But he was failing. The walls of his mansion were filled with everything money could buy, yet they could not fill the emptiness in his son's heart, or in his own. That afternoon, Anna stayed with Jacob, reading him stories, helping him dress, and listening as he recounted his fears of being left alone. Each word, each tear, anchored Anna more deeply into their lives. She realized that she was no longer just a temporary replacement for a maid. She was someone this small, fragile boy needed, and in turn, she was needed too. As days passed, Anna returned to cover shifts whenever Claire was unavailable. She began to notice the subtle cracks in Michael's carefully constructed life. He was brilliant, charming, but undeniably exhausted. There were moments when he would watch his son from across the room with a mix of awe and sadness, silently mourning the childhood he couldn't fully give. Anna began preparing meals for Jacob when Michael worked late, left small notes for him on his desk, and made the house feel less like a museum and more like a home. But Anna was not immune to the doubts creeping into her own heart. She wasn't wealthy, educated in elite institutions, or accustomed to a life of such privilege. She worried about overstepping boundaries, about being seen as an intruder in a family that didn't belong to her world. Yet each time Jacob ran to her with a laugh, or Michael looked at her with quiet gratitude, she realized that connection transcends wealth, status, or circumstance. Sometimes what people need most cannot be bought. One evening, Michael called Anna into his office. The rain was pounding against the windows, a storm mirroring the uncertainty swirling in both their hearts. He thanked her with a sincerity that pierced her chest, speaking of the relief and hope she had brought to a home that had been suffocating in grief. He admitted that he had been overwhelmed, almost giving up, until her presence reminded him of the importance of family, love, and trust. It was a conversation that changed everything. Not in dramatic declarations, but in quiet understanding, the kind that seeps into your bones. Weeks turned into months, and Anna found herself woven into their lives more deeply than she could have imagined. She was no longer simply the sister covering a shift. She was a trusted friend, a caregiver, and eventually someone both Michael and Jacob leaned on. The mansion, once a place of lonely grandeur, became a home filled with laughter, warmth, and small moments of happiness. Anna's own world expanded, not through wealth or privilege, but through the profound connections she had nurtured. Yet, life remained unpredictable. Anna received news that Claire's health had improved, and she could return to her normal schedule. Anna faced a choice: leave the mansion and return to her old life, or stay in a world that had become unexpectedly meaningful. Her heart was torn, but the bond she had formed with Jacob, and the quiet affection she had seen in Michael's eyes, gave her courage. She realized that sometimes the right path is not about what you expected, but about the people whose lives you touch along the way. It was on a crisp autumn morning, the sun casting golden light through the windows, that Michael finally let his guard down completely. He invited Anna to sit with him and Jacob in the living room, not as a maid, not as a temporary helper, but as a cherished part of their family. The moment was simple, but it carried the weight of months of shared struggles, late nights, tears, and small triumphs. For Anna, it was a revelation. That one act of kindness, covering her sister's shift, had transformed her life, and in helping them heal, she had found a place where she belonged. Every challenge Anna had faced, the self-doubt, the fear of being inadequate, the worry that she didn't belong, melted away in that moment. She understood that true strength comes not from perfection, but from showing up when it matters most, from giving love when it's needed, even if the reward is uncertain. And in giving, she had received far more than she could have imagined: trust, friendship, and the deep, unwavering connection of a family she had chosen and who had chosen her back. If this story touched your heart, please take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, and comment below. Tell us about a time when kindness changed your life. It might inspire someone today. Anna's story reminds us that life is unpredictable, fragile, and beautiful. Sometimes the most ordinary decisions, stepping in to help, showing up for someone, can ripple into extraordinary changes. That day she covered her sister's shift. She didn't know she was stepping into a life that needed her more than she could have imagined. And in the process, she discovered the transformative power of compassion, courage, and love. The kind that heals, uplifts, and lasts forever.